Welcome to Cutting Edge Web Content Development, the podcast where we delve into the world of CMS systems and their crucial role in website and web content development. In each episode, we'll explore the reasons why founders, CEOs, CTOs, and CMOs of web content development companies need CMS systems to thrive in the digital landscape. Get ready to uncover the secrets behind successful website management, content creation, and seamless user experiences. Here's your host, Jonathan Ames.
Welcome to Cutting Edge Web Content Development, a podcast by Butter CMS. Today, I'm thrilled to welcome Dimitris Drakatos, Head of SEO and ASO at Paired, the #1 app for couples. Dimitris has also worked at Revolut, Workable, and Peanut. Welcome, Dimitris.
Hello, Jonathan. Nice being here. I'm very grateful for the chance of giving me discuss really interesting topics around SEO, other things around our industry. As said in the very beginning, I'm very excited to be here.
Yeah. Tell us, first of all, how you got into SEO and ASO, and what have been some of your favorite projects that you've worked on in your career?
I have been doing SEO for around 8 to 9 years now, but I have been covering the full spectrum of digital marketing over the past 10 or so years. I think my first introduction to the world of SEO was when I started my first job. It was as an editor, a small editor on a news media website in Greece. So I was writing news, and then I learned about tactics in order to make my article, make my page rank higher in Google, be found by people searching on the web. And that was my first introduction with the world of SEO. But through the next years, I have been doing SEO as part of my duties, along with email marketing, social media management, or some PPC. And I realized that this is what I want to do for living. This is what I really enjoy mostly. Here I am now speaking about SEO. ASO-wise, it was something that it was introduced to me a bit later, back in 2019 when I relocated from Athens to London for Revolut. I joined as their first global SEO and ASO manager, so managing both the search engine optimization, but also the app store optimization effort. For people who may not be very ASO savvy, ASO has some similarities with SEO. So part of your duties include ranking high on relevant terms for your app on app stores, but also you need to work on improving the conversion rate of the app. So performing A/B tests, coming up with assumptions on what's working, what doesn't, building relationship with either the Apple or the Google team, and try to find creative ways to, let's say, increase the visibility and the placements that you get organically. Yeah, some similarities, but there are key differences between SEO and ASO.
Yeah. Tell me a couple of your favorite projects you've worked on over your career.
One thing that I'm really proud and has been a case study, my best case study so far, and follows me over the past years, is the Peanut story. So Peanut is an app for women. Women of all the different life stages are connecting with each other. They could speak, they could chat, they could create groups, they could be part of the groups. When I joined, Peanut was a website with just 5 pages, homepage, download the app, who we are, contact us, and that's it. They have just raised the Series A. They wanted to bring people who could lead its medium, and I came to lead the organic stuff around the SEO and ASO. After a year, long story short, we produced more than 1,000 pages of content. We grew our organic visits, non-branded organic visits, from literally 0 to more than 2.5 million organic visits on a monthly basis, which was a huge accomplishment. And I think we made the app, which was already popular, but as an app on specific niches and spaces for women, to a more broad audience. Every month, 3 million of women were visiting our website to find relevant information about their different life stages, the different problems they were facing, from getting pregnant to fertility issues to womanhood to menopause. And they were also introduced to the Peanut app. So I'm very proud for what we have achieved as a team. But I would say I would also feel very proud of how I evolved. Like in 2017, I have been struggling with my career. I wasn't very sure which area of the digital marketing space I would focus on. And I took a leap of faith for chasing my dreams. So for getting better in SEO and being an SEO professional, becoming a fully SEO professional. And 2 years after I relocated, I started working abroad for the biggest scale up in Europe, Revolut. And then I jumped on different gigs in speaking several conferences. So I would say I'm also proud for what I have achieved so far. So I would say Project Dimitris was a project that I'm really proud of as well.
That's something a lot of marketers are really good at, promoting their companies or their products, but sometimes not as good at promoting their own project, their own work, and being able to get that out there and share that. So that's great.
I totally agree with you.
Very important to do. All right. Today, when we talked before, we talked about what topics we could hit. Really interested in this. If you wanted to get into this collaboration, this idea of creating a good collaboration between SEO teams and engineering departments. So obviously, SEO has a development function, a technical side, and SEO has a content side. It's more in the marketing department. Getting these two sides to work together well is often a challenge. I know Butter CMS, we're a CMS, we work with both developers and marketers. So we understand that difficulty of communication. So I'm really interested to hear how you fostered that culture of collaboration between your SEO team and your engineering department.
There's no golden rule. We all have been facing multiple times this issue of miscommunication or misunderstanding between different teams, trying to make our tasks prioritized, but they haven't. So I always I learned the hard way, but so far I think the best approach is always when you try to make everyone part of your team and part of the problem. And by that, instead of simply creating Jira tickets or other project management tool you may have and setting due dates, you need to think that these people, even if they're part of your team. You're working together. You create a squad inside of other teams, and at the end of the day, you do have the same goal. So make them aware of the problem, make them aware of why it needs to be fixed, why you're proposing this solution. And at the end of the day, why it is important for the business metrics, for the business-wide KPIs is always a thing. It's always what has been working for me.
Oh, it's great advice. I know breaking down those walls between departments can be difficult, but I know developers, I work with them, really appreciate understanding the reasoning behind something. They're thinkers. They don't want to just do tasks. They want to think. And when they can understand the severity of problem, or the impact the solution will have, they're much more likely to really get involved in it and maybe make that a priority. So that's the next question I would ask you is, so how do you align? SEO has a set of goals. Dev team has a set of goals and priorities. How do you align those two? How do you figure out which is top?
Again, I always try to find a golden ratio, so make sure that we have the same understanding. That means from an SEO perspective, I do my own work. I do the website audit. I identify any potential issues in SEO, or if we need to build a new function on the blog or a new set of landing pages or some programmatic SEO pages. I always do my homework prior to pinging them, because nobody likes when you ping them and you say, I don't have something concrete, or I don't have something which is 100% ready to be shipped. So let's sit and spend time discussing, and I'm spending your time, I'm spoiling your time. So first of all, I make sure that I already have my business case. I already have my plan. And then instead, I try to quantify the impact that this could have to the business-wide KPIs. If I could find a way to tie them with their KPIs, or potentially some part of their KPIs, that would be ideal. If they're responsible for ensuring that the website health is in place, and I prove that if we don't fix these specific issues, the website's health is not perfect, is not optimal, then we already have a business case. Again, I'm trying to make them part of the problem and the solution, always open to hear their thoughts. I'm already trying to ask them as less as possible. For example, what I do. Core Web Vitals is a big thing for SEO, right? And when it was first introduced, I think like a couple of years ago, I was used to simply creating tasks saying we're not passing the LCP score and all these things. But over the past years, I found out that instead of simply creating this type of task, giving the more information you were putting into the task, the less work you were asking from them to do. For example, you could simply create a Lighthouse report. You could get all the JavaScripts that need to be reduced or minified, or the CSS files. Instead of just saying you need to minify or reduce the JavaScript, you could point them specific scripts, specific CSS files where you could say, these are the ones that you need to check. These are the ones that you need to minify or progressive load or all these things. In this case, you're requesting the same thing, but you're removing all the fraction of, I need to do this by myself. Let's say, guess which of them are not important. For example, also you could do your homework when it comes to, we have 3 different analytics scripts. Maybe we don't need all the 3 of them. So you could say, out of these 3, please remove these 2 because they're legacy. They're tools that we have been using a year ago. Now we're not using it. So you're already doing a really good job of helping them understand better what you want from them and not asking something from scratch. In my experience, this is something that they recognize, they acknowledge that you did this step coming close to us. So it's definitely better than simply minify the JavaScript because we need to pass the LCP score.
So going in there, thinking from their perspective, what are the things they're going to need, making it easier for them to quickly get into the project, have everything they need in front of them. Sounds like great tactics to kind of bring them in and help them feel excited to get on that project right away, rather than saying, what questions do I have to ask, or I have to go get all this information to be able to understand what to do next.
Yeah, I think, as I said, providing as much info as you can, making sure that you prioritize things in terms of urgency. Maybe something is good to fix, but it's not an urgent task, while another one is like really urgent. So make them feel that you already have a plan you have your roadmap, and these are the most crucial two most crucial tasks for this quarter. The rest could be handled on the next quarter. And try to put some numbers there, try to quantify. And ideally, if you could mention the impact of the fixes for the business, that would also make them feel that, if I fix this, that you have already provided enough information, this could result to X, Y, Z wins. And this is really tied up with the revenue or the organic traffic or the user experience, or something on the revenue, something that ties up well with the business metrics that at the end of the day, we all need to be aware and respect.
Yeah. No, that's important to know. Developers really want to be heroes. They want to work on projects that make an impact. So if you can tie that to a task, to something that they know is really important, they love to be that hero and go solve the problem.
Yeah.
So I think that's great. You bring in that business case.
Making sure that another thing is that I mentioned that you need to make them part of the problem, the solution. So don't forget to make them part of the wins, right? So if something was fixed and we had a good result because of that, shout out to them, make sure that thanks a lot. Like, guys, this month was the best in terms of revenue coming from SEO, or the best in terms of traffic. And a shout out to Michael, who helped us a lot fixing these issues, speeding up the website, has been loading fast. Loading times are among the top ranking factors, very important. And definitely that helped us a lot achieve this phenomenal milestone. So make them, acknowledge them. And yeah, exactly. It's super important. This would make your friends. It will be your friends. I know for sure.
Yeah, especially if you give them those shout outs and thanks in front of others in the company and say, hey, look, part of the success with so-and-so working and getting this done. Yeah, great way to make them a part of the team. Small things like that do matter in teamwork.
Exactly.
Now, you mentioned some things like saying the priority of different tasks so that they know which one to prioritize. Have you found there's any specific tools that have helped with workflow efficiency between your teams, software, or maybe ways of doing things?
Yeah, for me, the most obvious thing is project management tool. Developers, they do having everything written, everything planned, everything on a task-based approach. Jira is the go-to tool. Yeah, definitely. If your organization uses Jira and that's how they use Jira, you're speaking the same language. So it's always a good start. But you could use any other project management tool. Make sure though that everything is there. Don't create a task on Slack or ask them, oh, could you do this, or email them. Create the task, create the issue, tag them, follow. You can always ask them, okay, I have this thing. What's the best approach? What's the best option for you to build on your roadmap? You're thinking with their own roadmap and their own structure. But another tool, and there are a few other tools, but I have been using it for a couple of companies that I worked with. It's called Content King. So it's a real-time crawler that helps you a lot identify any type of change on the website. So if someone updates something on the code of any page, from a meta title, a comma on the meta title, or adding a no index tag to the homepage, which by the way has happened to me. Yeah, you could get alerted. So in a few minutes you could ping the one that was responsible, and you could resolve this issue instead of identifying it a couple of weeks, days after. And in this case, things could get really bad.
Yeah, and it could make that person look bad if they made a mistake like that cost revenue to the company. Much better to privately ping them and say, hey,
exactly,
cause a problem. You have to have the CEO go and say, hey, where'd all our traffic go and who is responsible?
Yeah,
that's a great tool.
Totally agree.
Very good. Yeah, because we all make mistakes. It's just important to catch them quick. And when people feel
being respectful, I think, is the most important part. I'm always trying to avoid mentioning someone in public or making him aware he has done a mistake or he didn't do the job correct. If you could simply message him politely and give him or her the heads up that, oh, maybe we could do this, or this is not exactly what we were asked, or please have a look because this is not working properly. That's a go-to. That's the thing, a team player.
Yes. Yeah. That's great. Conflicts do arise between engineering and SEO teams. They have different perspectives. How do you handle conflicts when you have different viewpoints between these teams?
So as I said, it's very important to have quantify and building the business case. That means you have bulletproof on a specific level your request or your business case. If you have quantified that these specific actions will result to XYZ things. But another thing that I found useful is try to gather examples of other big, well-known companies' websites. They have been following your approach. And this is actually something that could make them feel that this is the way to go. For example, when I was at Revolut, there was a debate between a specific approach for zero data. And what I did was I simply pulled data, some examples from Uber, Wise, from big brands out there, from Apple, and how they were treating this specific case. And since these were aligned with my proposal, it made things simpler, because even if someone is stubborn, she's not stupid. She is smart enough to understand that if a global company that is among the top 10 companies in the world is following this approach A, for example, we should, it's obvious that we should follow the same approach unless there is a lack of resources or something like that. But also you need to be open on your ideas. And if you present everything, if you present the case and the problem, if someone else comes with a better solution and a better approach that would give you the same solution, the same outcome with less resources, less pain, less back and forth, be open and accept it. It's not our game. It's just at the end of the day, you all work under the same company. You are aiming to have the same goal for the company.
Yeah, no, it's a good point. Both showing business cases, successful companies as proof for that, also just being open-minded to other perspectives, so you can be a team player. So as far as in your career, so let's go back to Project Dimitris. What do you think, if you could go back in time, meet yourself at the very beginning of your career, what have you learned that you would like to tell yourself then that you didn't know then?
I would say try to be very open-minded, try to think outside of the box, not try to think of solutions that are very straightforward. Try to think outside of the box. Never give up. At the end of the day, it's not the end of the day if something doesn't work with you and a company that you're working with, or if you have you can succeed. In every case, you may see also the opposite of success, and it's fine as long as you don't give up. You kind of your brain to come up with fresh ideas to revert the situation. I think that's things, and maybe don't be shy. So if you want to raise your hand, ask questions, if you want to promote even more yourself, write an article, ask a question, mention yourself as a potential invitee on a podcast, or pitch yourself to a conference. Don't be shy. If you're good at it, try to showcase it.
Very good advice. So where do you find your inspiration? Are there any books, podcasts, conferences where you find you are able to learn new things that are exciting for you?
Yeah, I would say mix. Podcasts are really nice. It's on Spotify or YouTube. I try to spend all the time listening to them. Conferences, I would say it depends. Sometimes I do see conferences that are very helpful, but over the past 2-3 years, I would say there are lots of conferences who are heavy sales focused. So you could see most of their presentations being from a sponsor with a client of them, trying to say how good things are with the tool or with the agency and the company, how they have been killing it with revenue, with user acquisition. So it's something that I don't like. I always want to leave a conference smarter and wiser than I joined. But there are also tools like X. Recently, I think there's a lot of good information there over the past few months that they produced in their algorithm. People are using more and more X. And of course, books are important, but I tend to use as well a lot of AI tools like ChatGPT to help me with consuming information, creating summaries of articles or researches. So yeah, I would say a mix.
Okay. Tell us just last about Paired, where you work, what it is, who it's for, and then where people can find you online if they want to connect with you.
Yeah, definitely. So yeah, Paired is the #1 app for couples. So we're not a dating app. It's the next phase, or you already have a relationship and you want it to become better, or you have specific issues that you want to tackle. So download Paired, you're pairing with your partner, and through our app, through gamification, through our question box or games here, hopefully improving your relationship. And there are researchers who have shown that it is working. Yeah, it's growing. It's a fairly new category. It's fairly new niche. Imagine that a couple of years ago, meditation wasn't sexy, not attractive, and now it's more headspace where people are widely using to meditate in their home or in their apartment. And you were saying, I'm going to get my app and meditate in my room. Like a couple of years ago, people may think you're crazy. Now, pretty common, very popular. So this is what we're aiming to do. Grow and define the category at the same time. People may find that couples therapy is a bit of a taboo, and we want to tackle it, and I want to make it accessible to everyone. As far as myself, I think the best medium where people could reach out to me, either for saying, hey, or even asking help for a potential consultation or anything else. They have a question. I do a lot of pro bono work as well as a mentor. It's LinkedIn, but I do have the website online, dimitrisdrakatos.com. So you could easily link there, and there's a form you could fill and we can chat further. But I think LinkedIn is the best medium.
LinkedIn's good for that. Thank you so much, Dimitris, for coming on, for sharing your insights on how to connect your SEO and your engineering teams, and so some of your insights from your career. Appreciate it.
Yeah, thanks for having me, Jonathan. It was a pleasure.
Cutting Edge Web Content Development is brought to you by Butter CMS. To find out how you can build better with Butter, stop wasting dev time, and free your marketers from your legacy CMS, visit buttercms.com. Also, make sure to search for Cutting Edge Web Content Development in Apple Podcasts, Spotify, and Google Podcasts, or anywhere else podcasts are found. Make sure to click subscribe so you don't miss any future episodes. On behalf of the team here at Butter CMS, thank you for listening.